Hello and welcome back to my channel. So as you've seen from the thumbnail, it is the purple bloom. So it is the Pamphobeteus Machalla, and it's the pairing between my male and female. And the reason I wanted to do this video is because I'm trying to pair them, and these have not been as easy as others I've had to pair. And what I'm going to do is I'll show you some footage, because over the last month and a half I've had to introduce the male, take the male out, introduce the male, and so on. And it got to the point where I introduced the male, he freaked out, wouldn't go nowhere near her. I'd already seen that he'd done a sperm web and he'd run out the enclosure straight away, so I had to keep reintroducing him, and he would go closer and closer over time. The female was very forward. She was pushing on him. She wanted to engage. She wanted to mate. So that was brilliant. And she was super gentle. So I used to hover over the enclosure and make sure that she's okay. And just in case she was going to intervene. And the footage over the course of the month was literally me just trying to introduce and sit there for an hour. It took hour to 2 hours each time. You can see she's moving there, but what she's doing is actually eating the remains of the male. So unfortunately, he didn't survive. I'll show you all the footage in a second, apart from obviously the bit she took in, because it was super, super aggressive. And that's what I wanted to speak about. But there you go. She's going to go on into a high, but she's got a massive abdomen. She's still eating the remains of him there. It took her about 2 days to fully consume him because he was massive. But she was very placid. She mated with him twice. Over a course of, I'd say 2 weeks. Then I gave him a week separate, and well, she's coming to me now. Oh, this is the thing. This is her bin corner. This is where she chucks all her boluses. You can see some down in there. So she's making her way over to discard the remains of him. She's very tidy. But I gave them a week's break. I fed her up a couple of roaches. Introduced him again. He ended up staying in there for a couple of days. They were just next to each other, really calm. And in the morning, I'll see them separate. And I would see her itching underneath her abdomen. So I know that's a good sign that she's paired. And I've seen it a couple of times. Took him out, then put him back in after another week. And he paired again with her. And I thought, brilliant, I'll let him go out. And you'll see all the footage in a second. Then I gave him another week or so, tried to feed him, he didn't want nothing to eat. He then did another sperm web, which I'll show you. And then I tried to pair them again, but she come out and her demeanour completely changed. She was super aggressive. Anytime he touched the enclosure, she just ran out, tried to grab him. So I intervened, they paired, and then she relaxed. And then later on that day, she did the same again. And she relaxed, and then I thought I'd just go out, made myself a drink, come back in, and she'd got him. So just completely just mangled him up, so I didn't have a chance. But what I wanted to say is that's really good. I know it sounds bad, I lost my male, but she was really calm and she mated with him. And over the course of a month, month and a half, and then her demeanour changed, her abdomen got bigger, and that's a clear sign that she's hopefully going to do a sac, because she needed that extra food to give the nutrients to her offspring. But she is absolutely massive. But further ado, let's go straight in and I'll show you the footage and I'll talk over the top of it. Okay, so at this point I've already tried pairing them for a week, week and a half, and he won't go nowhere near her. So this is the first time putting him with her where he's actually walked towards her slightly. She's more interested, she's gone straight towards him, but she's got her fangs splayed open. Look, so again, he just disappears and wants to move off. Okay, so this is just over an hour later. He seems to have built up a bit more confidence, and he's trying to tap her there and put his leg on her, but she's still wiggling her fangs, and he actually does look quite nervous. So I think he's going to back off again, so I ended up removing him and tried to feed up the female. I've fed the female a few times now over the course of just over a week, but if you look at the abdomen, you can see that it's big, but it's not as big as what you'll see shortly. But I wanted to make sure that she got a good few meals down in her. This is after a week and a half's worth of feeding the female. I think I gave her about 3 large dubia roaches over the course of that week. So you can see the abdomen's got slightly bigger. But he was still apprehensive at first, so it took about another hour. I was in the room, just sat there for quite some time, and then he actually looked quite confident now and starts pressing the female.
and starts positioning himself. He looks strong, he looks good, and I was quite confident that was something was going to happen, but I just didn't want him to be eaten or consumed because I've had him for quite a few years now and I've got quite attached to him. He's quite a character, a bit skittish, but come on, look at the colours of him. He's absolutely stunning, and you can see that he's really well fed for a male as well. So I'm just keeping my eyes on him, and I'm just hovering above the pair of them, as you can see there, just ready to intervene. She still keeps putting her fangs out and she keeps spreading the fangs, but here he goes under, and this is the first time I see him doing this properly. I've seen it before slightly, but this time I actually see where we get an insertion, and he actually does a double one, and look at that. Wow, he just bends her in half. Absolutely amazing. I've never seen one do it like this. He puts his front legs up, pins her back, and he gets both of them in at the same time, but then pulls his right one out, as you can see there's come out, but the left one actually gets slightly stuck, and you see he's trying to pull himself back and he can't actually remove it. So we definitely had a double insertion there, which I've not seen. I've only ever seen one at a time, and now I'm just keeping an eye because I don't want her to drop down and just grab him, because she could just do that. But as I said, all the time at the minute she's been quite gentle with him. I'm still hovering around here at this point, watching what she does. You can tell he's slightly nervous. He's getting his back legs ready and he's going to turn around to the left. There he goes. He's moved back, but you can see she looks quite bold, and then I end up removing the male. So this is the male, obviously, 2 weeks later, and he's laying another sperm web. And the female, during this process, I've still tried to feed. She really wouldn't take anything else. She just went off it, went inside, come out, got some water, and then went back inside again. And then once he got out of all of this process, then she come out and was a bit more active because he was drumming again. But let me just speed up and show you the remainder of this sperm web. I think it was in total 28 minutes that I had to speed up. He was taking some time, and what I noticed afterwards is he was absolutely knackered. He looked exhausted from doing it, but I am so glad I managed to catch him doing it. Now let's see him come out of this position. As you can see, he's slowly starting to wriggle and he'll pull himself upwards. They're quite agile, really. I wondered how he'd get out from this position, but look at the coloration of him. And as you can see now, he's actually got his emboli actually out. He's got them both folded down, ready to pick up that sperm, but he will turn around in a second, but he moves quite slow. He's quite sluggish. It takes it out of him for doing it, but he's still a really good size for a male. He is 20, just over 20 centimeters, I think. But here we go. He's just going to turn around. And I love the patch on the eye, the black patch around, and the coloration from pink to purple to the black sheen on the back. It is just a stunning species to have. And I've not seen this before. I've caught a few others doing it, but not one from a tarantula this size. And then he just takes his time and slowly goes and fills up his emboli there with the sperm that he placed on the web. And I just think it's absolutely amazing. And I left him there afterwards. Once he'd finished, he just sat there for quite some time. I think a couple of hours before he moved, and then he went off to get some water. And I left him for a bit longer after that, just to recuperate himself. He wouldn't eat, and then he just started drumming all day and all night. He was very active, and he changed his personality slightly and actually wanted the female then. And this is just a little clip just from after, so it's been a month and a half now of loads of different clips and different attempts from me, but you can see the size of the female's abdomen there. It's a lot larger, and she's still not been feeding, so she's definitely putting on some size. She was staying in her hide. You can see I've changed the moisture. I've tried to up it a little with the substrate looking darker, but just he picked up on her body, it changed, and she was far more aggressive, so I had to remove the male this occasion. And there we have it. I didn't put the footage on of her taking him. It was extremely aggressive. I heard it. I come up, didn't see the actual moment, but she was all over the place with him, and that's why his legs come off. But at least this gives him the best chance to put his lineage through into his babies, and gives her the best chance then, because she's had an absolute massive meal, which took her almost 2 days to consume. So there we go.
So as you can see, the female is there in the corner. She's getting ready to drop the remains of the bolus. But I hope you found that entertaining, and you see the differences there, and then the spur and web is absolutely brilliant. So it is okay if they do eat the males. I'd rather her not, and I'd rather have kept him alive and see how long he can live with me. But it happens in the wild, and they need to do that for the nutrients. She is looking massive, so I'm hoping she's going to get ready after this to hunker down. I'm going to up the humidity in here slightly on one end, and then see if she'll hunker down and drop a sack, because she is looking extremely large. So fingers crossed, and I'll update you on a future video of that. But I hope you enjoyed that. See you all later.